I am Neil Jerome Igargin, an associate professor of mathematics, a teacher for a little over 14 years, and I dare say, a student for life. In this vlog, let me show you some exemplars of my academic practice, teaching style, and philosophy founded on my very own experiences and some learning theories. I'll also share some feedback from my students and peers. To ensure that I provide students with the optimal learning environment, I see to it that I keep abreast with the latest development both in my field of specialization and the current trends in teaching and learning. Hence, my academic practice is guaranteed to have room for research and professional development. As the role of the university evolved through time, we teachers have to cater to a very diverse set of learners. As Biggs and Tang puts it, we need to deal with both Susans and Roberts. The Susans are those who are really motivated to learn and often deals with what Biggs call deep learning, while the Roberts are those that go to university just for the sake of getting a degree and landing a good paying job. As a teacher, I believe that it is my first job to create an environment that will be conducive to learning regardless if you're a Susan, a Robert, or somewhere in between. Part of this process is knowing my learners and their apprehension to or love for math. According to Ashcroft, a negative bias towards learning math, often resulting to avoidance of the subject itself, is one main cause for the disruption of cognitive processes in one's working memory. Thus, I believe that designing activities to lighten their anxiety is necessarily the first step in engaging students. Learning theories like Bandura hypothesize that self-efficacy is a great contributor to student performance. Moreover, studies by Liu and Pajares and Miller concluded that self-efficacy is the best belief construct in terms of predicting success in studying mathematics. Kausapin found similar but less pronounced results in the Philippine mathematical context. For instance, Math 174, a course for junior and senior math and applied math students. I always start my modules by a statement of the learning outcomes to give students an idea of what to expect. Then I start the discussions by presenting some trending problems like epidemic modeling and interesting ones like optimal pricing to capture their interests. Then I'll ask them to recall prior learning, how they solved similar problems in their freshman calculus. But I'll follow it up by asking them to critique these learnings and explain why they are impractical for these problems. They often get the point that what they learned before was applicable only for abstract and continuous data, not discrete ones like those in the tables. This will reveal to them the need for polynomial interpolation, which is the topic at hand. Once the need for the topic is established, I lay the groundwork for solving them. But I always start by solving easier problems first to facilitate basic learning and to boost my students' confidence and self-efficacy. Then we discuss the solutions to the featured problems in various modes to cater to multiple intelligences. We do symbolic calculations for the mathematically inclined, graphical analysis for the visual ones, and via computer softwares for the mechanically enticed. Then I give students time to study together and share their different takeaways and perspective to these problems, thus fostering cooperative learning. In assessing my students' learning, I follow the same basic principles. First, I only require them to do surface learning, that is a direct application of the topics discussed, often in real-world and interesting data. Then I ask them to analyze the result they got and exhibit Ilerice's cumulative and assimilative learning. Then I ask them to synthesize their results and form and test a hypothesis, thus invoking accommodative and hopefully transformative learning. Then I'll affirm or deny their hypothesis as a springboard to the next lesson. This approach seems to work from the student's lens. Despite the challenges of online learning, over 7 in 10 students think that the online setup was made suitable for the course. Then they see the course objectives, content, and delivery were clear, appropriate, and relevant to their course. They also gave glowing reviews of my effectiveness and organization, the way I stimulated their interests, and my prompt grading and feedback. Surprisingly, they even find laboratory exercises and problem sets to be excellent in terms of developing their skills. Finally, students felt that the course significantly improved their skills. My peers also find this approach to be appropriate as reflected in their outstanding evaluation of the quality of my work, judgment, resourcefulness, and communication skills. However, I admit that this is the one among Brooksfield's lenses that I reflect on the least, probably due to the lack of sort of an intimate opportunity to sit down with my colleagues and talk about our practices. Hopefully PGCAP will put me in a position to organize such sessions in the future. I'll say more about how things in this vlog relates to the UKPSF in the attached commentary. But until then, thank you for your time.